What is going on, everybody? Welcome to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
I'm Chris 183.
Here we are. It's going to be May. It is May. We have a brand new theme for this month. What did we do last month, Chris? Acoustic April? We're done with that. It's over.
Yeah, we went from unplugged back to plugged.
Yeah, this is way plugged. Welcome to High School Never Ends, Kills It Live. We're going to be talking about some live recorded albums. So essentially, we're going to be just talking about live shows.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of them. Steve has seen more than I have. He's an expert at live shows, but expert or not, we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about the recorded live shows. Isn't that funny, Steve? But one of the things that we thought about before we wanted to go into this month is, will we have enough to talk about? Will we have enough to say about these live albums? And I think we do.
I think we'll be okay. The thing about the live albums is there's always like banter. There's like ways that the band sounds live. There's things that we can kind of talk about. We haven't talked about every one of these songs from every one of these bands. So today we're going to kick it off. This is High School Never Ends, Kills It Live. And we are going to start off with New Found Glory's Kill It Live, which is an album that they recorded back in 2013, which features a lot of the old school New Found Glory, not anything from Listen Up, which we just did an album spotlight on that on Patreon. Thank you to our patrons. We got Jeff, Tom, Ashley, Jason, Sam, Chris W., Nick, Punk Rock Mom, Punkish Dad, Punkish Dad's Friend, Chris P, Steve C, and Steve Kelly. So if you want to hear New Found Glory, Listen Up, that's on our Patreon. But we're going to talk about Kill It Live. This is the old school stuff for the most part.
Yeah, so the question is that, with this album, with this show, were you at this show, Wingman Steve?
I was not at the show. This was recorded. It was actually recorded over two shows. They were both at the Chain Reaction, which is in Anaheim, California, and I have never been there. I've been to one concert venue in California, but I have not been to this one.
So the second question is, were you one to buy live recorded albums back in 2013?
Yes, a few of them. So I think when this came out, October 7, 2013, I must have been in the stage of the game where I was not doing physical CDs. So I think I probably paid for it on iTunes or something like that. Or I don't know, I downloaded it somehow and burned it. But I remember having and listening to this one. Yeah. And so sometimes depends what it is.
And why did somebody buy that? Why do you buy live albums? What's your reason? I'll give you my reason, but what's your reason for it?
You want to give me your reason first, or you want my reason?
I asked you.
Well, listen, it's an audio recording of what it's like being at the show. It's essentially like a greatest hits record. I always want to hear, what are there any nuances in the way that the songs are sung? We just did that Dashboard Confessional acoustic one where you could hear the audience sing along. I like to hear those kind of different things. And I like to see what the set list is going to be. And this is, again, it's quite a mix of different albums here.
It has to be very specific for me in terms of what I would buy. I'll listen to a lot more than I actually would purchase. But I think for any of these, my main, I guess, area of focus would be that I really want to hear them potentially play a song a little bit differently. So you probably touched on that, but I just want to see if they add maybe a different tempo or melody, or just sing it differently, or maybe somebody else in the band sings a song they don't normally sing. I like live shows to a point, but that's one of my favorite things about them. And to hear it, on a live album, if it's a band and an era or a chunk of songs that I really like, I'm going to be more prone to buying it. Similar to, when I bought the Blink live album, the Mark, Tom, and Travis show, I did scout that one out, obviously being a big, huge fan of Blink 182. So, but I did scout out the songs on it, and obviously I ended up buying it because it was amazing. But for this one, you're a New Found Glory fan. This must have been a pretty good set list, in your mind, for you to pay money for it.
Well, I might have some. So even if you go see New Found Glory often, which I have in my life, I've probably seen them 20 times. I'm going to see them again in a month. But every show is different. So you're getting a snapshot of that particular point in time of, what they're touring. And based on what you said, I think with this album, you don't really get a whole lot of different stuff. Like
Yeah.
the songs are sung mostly how they are on the album. There's some banter, there's some crowd interaction, but at the end of the day, they're not changing like the vocal stuff. Like it's pretty much what you get on the album. But Newfound Glory is one of these bands that they are just really energetic and fun to see live. So hopefully that comes through. I'm not sure if you've said you've seen them or not, but hopefully that comes through on this album.
No, it does, and I think that's the other nuance to this is that it doesn't sound like a clean studio recording that you would get out of a studio, as I just said. But what you do get is that raw energy that comes from the guitars, that comes from just the sound of vocals that are live. It's different, and so I think there's a charm to that. And even though I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of this band, I'm a fan of music. And when you do supercharge the feeling, the emotion of what you're listening to with some live guitars that are really loud and just kind of overtake, I'm okay with that to a certain extent.
Yeah, and I had this conversation actually when I was in Pittsburgh with our buddy Stu this weekend. Like Jordan's vocals on this record, he goes, dude, Jordan's vocals sound better than they've ever sounded live. And he suspected maybe that there's actually an instrument to kind of correct your pitch at some point. So I don't know if that was used. That's just hearsay. But I thought Jordan's vocals did sound, for the most part, very good on this recording.
Really? You think he was auto-tuned?
Not necessarily auto-tuned. It's just like a pitch corrector. I didn't get the whole detail. Something like not auto-tune. No, it's not like that like that robot thing. It helps you, I don't know, get your pitch best.
Okay. I thought that was just an auto-tune, but I don't know. I don't know if I heard that or not, but I don't listen to him very closely, so what do I know?
Well, how'd you think he sounded overall?
No, I mean, I think he sounded as good as he was going to sound as the lead singer of Newfound Glory. I think that there wasn't a point, let's put it this way, there wasn't a point in time where I said, wow, this guy can't sing, or wow, does he sound just awful live? Like, I didn't say any of those things.
You probably also didn't say, wow, he sounds so good.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like, look. I
think it's right in the middle there.
Yeah. Like I have biases about his singing, and it's hard to get through that. Like I tried, and I'll probably get over it to an extent here. As I'm generally positive on a lot of these songs as a whole because of that, live edge that I just talked about. But I'm not sure that the vocals really played a huge part in that. So I'm not gonna harp on that for specifically.
All right. Well, we have 17 tracks plus 3 studio tracks to get through here. Woof. And to start off, this is Newfound Glory's first ever live album. I mentioned it was recorded over 2 nights, 2 shows at the Chain Reaction in Anaheim, California. The record came out, depending upon what country you live in, either October 7th or October 8th, 2013 on Violently Happy / Bridge 9 Records. And one thing I read, which was a bit interesting, the first night that they were recording this, Chad collapsed on stage because he got shocked by a microphone cord. And he had to go get himself checked out after the show, but he got cleared to come back and do it the next day. So they finished the recording.
What?
Yeah.
He collapsed on stage because he got electrocuted?
Yes. From a microphone wire, they think.
Have you ever been electrocuted?
Minorly. I've gone to take, a plug out of a power strip, and while I was doing it, my little digits got caught underneath or something, and just a little one, but not like a major one.
No, you didn't get hit by lightning or anything, but
not that I'm aware of.
Like when you got your digits or whatever it is, what is it? Was it a deep feeling of electricity? Because what can I okay, so there was a buddy of mine that had an apartment, and for some reason, if you touched the refrigerator and the stove at the same time, you would get a bad shock.
Really?
It would course through your body, and that one time I was like, that's stupid. That's not real. Like, I'll just do it. And yeah, it shocked the hell out of me. But that's not a good feeling. That's my point.
No.
That sucks.
It was. I was not expecting it. Again, I was just like unplugging like a computer cable or something like that, and my fingers happened to get in between, like whatever. And it wasn't like too powerful, but I felt it. I felt it pretty deep.
So could you imagine being on stage and getting shocked to the point where you get knocked out?
Dude, it must have been bad, but he got checked out and he was okay to proceed the next day.
I wonder how often that happens to bands. I would like to know, like, if that's a more of a normal thing than maybe what we think, because they are dealing with high amounts of electricity. And here's the thing, like, you know, if they're in an outdoor venue and it starts to rain, they generally don't stop the concert, right?
If it's a rain or shine show, then no.
Yeah. Doesn't that up the possibility for problems?
It does. If you're playing that big a venue, though, you might have people to unplug the things for you, but somebody's in danger.
If only we knew people that put on huge festivals and concerts that might be able to give their thoughts on that sometime.
We may be able to ask someone. Did you see they announced the date for Four Chord for this year and the venue?
It has nothing to do with this, what we're talking about, but it doesn't. But I thought about it today when I was looking at that, and I'm like, I really want to talk about it on the show. It has nothing to do with this. But yes, just talk about it.
Listen, maybe New Found Glory will play there, and then there will be a correlation.
Well, okay, 30 seconds. That's all we get. Yes, we don't know what the bands are yet. Yes, we know when it is later in the season than when it normally is, right? Or is my timing off?
Last year, it was maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks before. It was early September, and this year it's September 25, 26, I think.
Right. It's right around
the year before.
September
2 years ago, it was in June, so it's later. It's later in the year than it has usually been.
Maybe that's a sign that Green Day will be there because it's almost at the end of September, and that's when he wants you to call him.
You might be onto something there. It's possible.
So,
30 seconds.
Anyway, I'm excited.
All right. Well, you mentioned the set list. I may have some things to say about overall the set list, but I'm going to save it for when we get into it. Again, we got quite the task ahead of us, but the set list is very heavily skewed towards Sticks and Stones. There's 4 Sticks and Stones songs on here. There's 4 Catalyst songs, 3 from self-titled, and then like 3 or 4 that are just from a single album. But I think that a lot of the stuff that I think I remember you liking was maybe on like Radio Surgery and later for the most part. And, you know, this live album came out after Radio Surgery, but before Resurrection. So that's what we're dealing with. We have Nothing Gold Can Stay. We have self-titled. We have Sticks and Stones. We have Catalyst, Coming Home, Not Without a Fight, and Radio Surgery. That's the options here. Plus all the from the screen to your stereos. No cover songs on here. No cover songs. Quite surprised about that, to be honest with you.
Why do they always do cover songs?
I mean, at least shows? in the last 5 years, 6 years, every time I've seen them, there's at least a couple, 1 or 2 for sure. So I can't really remember like all the way back if that was commonplace or not, but none here. Maybe there's licensing stuff.
Well, I was just gonna say that, like, before they do these live albums, don't you think that they have a conversation with the record company about what they can and can't do?
Somebody probably has that conversation with them, if it's a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's okay. It's straightforward. It's what it is. And yes, I will want to get your opinion on the set list and the mix of songs that they chose based on what was available, what they could have done, and then obviously what they did do. So we'll hit that up at the end. How about that?
Sure. There's a few things I'm probably going to call out as we go along at different times, but I kind of only just have one gripe. That's it. But we'll get
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we have an intro. Do we have anything to say about this, Steve?
The intro is off of Catalyst, right? It's a little 1-minute song. They're open with their shows with this often, but I don't really kind of consider it like really a song. It's a little different, right? Because they go into Understatement next, but you're used to it being this into All Downhill From Here. I would say of this 1-minute track, the best part about it is in the very beginning, there's a New Found Glory chant from the crowd, which is, I remember back in the day where that would happen a lot. I have not heard that or seen that at any point recently. I think that nowadays bands and venues just like have to stick to certain times. So you can kind of know when each band is going to go on based upon the time slot and when, it's going to be on a 10 or a 15 or something like that, or top of the hour. But to have the crowd, scream Newfound Glory, I think that's a fun moment for a live CD. So other than that, it's a quick little intro song that I like. It's fine.
Yeah, nothing more. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about the intro. I'm ready to go right into Understatement, and if you're good with that, I'll kick things off there.
Proceed.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think that they kick this album off, or this show off, with forgetting about the intro, with a lot of energy. Like this one, I think that, it's just, they push the tempo up a little bit more here. This song is, just chock full of energy. Love the guitars. Again, they just sound different when it's live. And I think that even though I'm not necessarily like, I don't know if I know this song, Steve, Understatement.
You must know this song.
I don't know.
Don't admit
like,
that if you don't know this song.
Okay, but I couldn't. Okay, but I'm not the hugest Newfound Glory fan. How would I know all the songs?
Well, it's the first song off Sticks and Stones, which is, their biggest album.
Yeah, you know me though. Like I'm not as into Sticks and Stones.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, like it sounds familiar. Like if that's what you want me to say, it does. But I don't necessarily have a ton of history with Understatement, other than the fact that I think it sets a good tone for the concert in this album. It's probably one that people like to hear, first, because like you said, it's a big album and they know the songs off of it. And it makes a statement. So I get it.
An
I know
understatement.
why they picked it. Oh, there it is.
You set that up.
Would you be happy if this was the first song that they started the concert with, Steve?
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about like if I used to play that game, so and I try and play the game. If I don't look at Setlist FM, I try and turn to the folks that I'm with and say, what do you think they're going to start the show with, right? And I would say at any Newfound Glory show, if I was putting like there would be like a 50% chance that they're going to open with Understatement, taking out that intro or whatever. So I would expect it. The live show is again one of Newfound Glory's big strengths. It's really cool to have this entire thing captured in a live setting. If you haven't seen them before, the album gives you a very perfect idea of what it's like. And this song is just it's such a killer track. So, I mean, even though technically it's number 2 here, it's kind of number 1. It sounds great live. They do a little bit of egging the crowd on. There's a little bit of crowd participation in this recording. So it's just a ton of energy, ball of fire to kick this off.
They do involve the crowd a lot throughout the album.
Yeah, I mean, Chad does a lot of like just shouting at the crowd, and then they do let the crowd sing along at times. We'll get those, here and there.
You'll have to help me through that because I can't remember where certain things were, and I know that they said something that was kind of dumb, but it might have been dumb now, but it's maybe not then because it was more relevant, more so relevant then than it is now. And we'll talk about it.
I'd say that the banter on this record overall is like not top tier. It's just like, it's nothing that would make you go, oh man, like with Blink, like when you go see Blink back in the day, you're like, oh my God, these guys are so funny. They're making stupid jokes. And obviously they go over the top with the dick and fart jokes and the moms and dads and all that stuff. Newfound Glory doesn't really play that game. But the banter is pretty medium at a Newfound Glory show. It's not about that.
They respect the moms and dads.
They do, and they respect kids. Nowadays there's a lot of kids at the show, so I've seen them invite kids up on the stage and like sign their shirts and stuff. So they enjoy the families coming.
All right, what about the next one?
All right, so Don't Let Her Pull You Down. One thing just in general about Newfound Glory live compared to like the studio album is that I think in a live setting they feel like a much harder band, not just like the bubblegum junk food pop punk that some people say that they are. And I think this song is a good example of this. This is the only song from Not Without a Fight on the record which is kind of fine with me because I didn't really care for that album. But I do like this song. It's just not like a staple for me. I thought the guitar sounded great. That one riff is really, really cool. One thing to note is that at this point in Newfound Glory history, we still have Steve Klein in the band. So it's a 5-piece, which gives a little bit of extra layers. No real notes on like the sound of the song or the audience or anything like that.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. I'm not sure that that I knew this song either. Like, I guess I've heard it before, but definitely a little bit more, maybe a little bit more mellower in delivery. But I don't know. I think maybe this is where I'll give some thought to the vocals here. I thought that they were definitely. I like the vocals on this one. Like this one, a little bit more. I don't know. Just felt a little bit more powerful than maybe what he comes off as in the studio recording. I don't know why
it's
this
kind of
song,
shouty and chanty. Don't let her pull you down.
Maybe just more of an edge, more of a just. It felt like an experience. With that, I kind of like that when it just feels bigger. And even though I'm not necessarily like head over heels for the song itself, those moments are definitely worth calling out. So I don't know. That's about it. I think that they can be. This song also shows that they have a little bit of grit to them. Like it's they have that rougher edge to them with this song, and sometimes that's refreshing. So
I'd say 2 in a row going into the next one, not to set you up or cue you up or anything. That's my opinion.
Well, this is more of a all downhill from here is the next one, and you think this is a harder edge.
Yeah, just think about how it starts. Dun, 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 dun,
I guess.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I mean, but you're getting into a song that the majority of the population that even has sniffed Newfound Glory knows, what the song is. It's it's a song with a massive chorus, and the vocals are definitely easy to get into. It sounds great, and you can hear that in the crowd where the energy definitely spikes. People love this. It's an anthem, so I think that's a given, Steve, that you're going to get a lot of crowd participation with this one. And yeah, I mean, I think the crowd definitely took over a lot here. People love to sing, and it felt like a altogether communal song, and not just Newfound Glory performing to the fans. So that was pretty cool to hear too. So I don't know, that was kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And at the beginning of this track, Chad kind of talks to the crowd about how they are recording this. So he's trying to kind of pump them up, make sure they get into it. Not that the song needs that, because they get this every single night they play it. Another one, to me, this one comes off super hard when you're listening to it live. It's a great song. Having the crowd start the song was awesome. And it came through, like the singing, the crowd singing, came through really great on the recording of this. Same thing as when he just lets everybody scream, do burn until the end. Lots of crowd participation. Chad's scream comes through well. We get in the background, he's like, fuck. It sounds stupid me saying it, but if you listen to it on this record, we do get a fuck in the background. I think this is a cool version of this song, and this is one that you could shine a light and be like, classic Newfound Glory. Love it.
Do you feel like they follow that up in track 4?
Well, that was track 4.
Track 5. Sorry, I was looking at something else.
This is Anthem for the Unwanted. This is the only song off Radio Surgery in the entire set. And that had been their most recent record when this was recorded. So obviously it didn't, this period of time, and they even mention at one point, was when pop punk really had kind of slowed down. A lot of the bands stopped recording, broken up, hiatuses, all these things. This was in somewhat of a dead zone for pop punk. And so I don't know, maybe that album just didn't hit with people, didn't hit with me. So I mean, I would call this one like a lesser known song. If I was making the set list, I'd probably just wouldn't include it. But It's a fun one live just because of the call and the response with the audience. This drums come off really strong, but it's not a favorite song of mine or anything like that.
I think it has a more of a straightforward punk sound to it, don't you think?
Potentially.
Yeah. So I mean, I am a fan of Radio Surgery to an extent, and this isn't one of my favorite songs on it, but I mean, you can't go wrong with a straightforward punk song, like I just said. So I thought it was fun, fairly enjoyable. For that reason, it had grit to it. It had the energy like we've been talking about. So I don't know if it was a complete shift. Definitely again less known versus all downhill from here. But
oh yeah,
real fans probably or let's just say super fans probably are good with this shift here. And I don't mind hearing something from Radio Surgery once in a while. So I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny that was that had been their most recent album at the time, and it only gets one track on this tour.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't know whether or not, again, that they were coerced into sticking to certain albums because they thought that would sell better.
Maybe. Well, at least they're known for something.
Yeah. So this one kind of is more of that mid-tempo, very, very catchy melody type song, very vocal driven. It's very Jordan heavy. I think that's okay. I kind of got and take it. It kind of took me out of it a little bit. So I didn't love this one, Steve. I thought it was. I don't like the song. I didn't love it. I don't really know what else to say there. It just wasn't my thing.
I don't think this is one of their stronger songs. The chuggy guitars sounded real good here. They sounded very big. Nothing particularly special about this version. It just seemed to be, a live version. Nothing super special. I think the bridge towards the end kind of stood out a bit, but nothing too crazy here.
Yeah. Does this song feel like slower than normal to you? Like, is it just like a slower New Found Glory song, or do you feel that way?
No, they have a couple. Well, the next one I feel like is a slower one, but this one, I mean, it's not like super fast, like double. Well, the beginning is the chorus is maybe a half a tick slower because I'm best known for failure,
tempo wise.
Yeah, but the way it starts fast, but it's a mix. It's a mix.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it just couldn't connect with this one for some reason.
I always kind of thought in my head, just knowing the things that I know about you, and I don't. That's not a negative thing at all positive. I just kind of in my head thought that you would like Catalyst more than you actually do, like the album and most of the songs on Catalyst.
I thought that I did like some of the stuff from Catalyst.
You might.
It's been a long time. Like I don't know. There's certain New Found Glory songs that have this tonality to it that I just connect with, and there's others that I just don't.
I do not.
So,
all right. Well, I think this is me, right, Sonny?
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad that they played this one. This is like a slower paced one, but I think it fits into the set nicely. This is the 7th song. I'm gonna count the intro because I'm going by the track numbers. Mm-hmm. I thought it fit nice into the set. And it's weird, like New Found Glory doesn't really do ballads like at all. So this type of song is kind of the closest thing that they have to a ballad or a slow jam or whatever. Good way to highlight Ian here and the bass. Here's my one real criticism about this album and this set is that they missed so many opportunities to do a little extra harmonizing. There are no fucking harmonies. I don't know if Chad or Steve or Ian or Cyrus, like if nobody can like sing backup, but nobody is harmonizing. This is less than I will remember the best part of my day. Like in the background, I want to hear like multiple layered vocals. And I don't mean it has to be recorded, but somebody else in the band can sing along, in a different octave or whatever and harmonize. And I think that this song actually is very good on this record. It has a half moon next to it, but I think that they missed an opportunity, and I may call it out again that there's multiple songs where it's like, damn, that would just sound much better with harmonies.
So they don't normally harmonize on anything? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, they definitely do on the records. And what it is it's just extra layers of Jordan harmonizing with himself. I can't even like think, you know, to a
Live, you've
live
seen them
setting.
live.
I
You've
know,
seen
but
them
I don't.
live.
I can't remember if they're harmonizing live. They're not on this record though. No way.
That is something that I'm sure someone's going to call out in either the Discord or on socials. So please do. It's not like we are right or wrong. We just Steve didn't know, and I absolutely have no idea. But I do like some harmonies. So I'm with you. I think that definitely would make anything better, not just this album or these songs. But I am a fan of Sunny live. I think that all the things you said, like I just talked about that tonality. Like it's something about the melody that just draws me in here. So I think the live version just kind of fits with that, and it doesn't do much different in a lot of in any way, stretch or form. I just think it's just a live version of a song I like. So I'm good with that.
Fair
And
enough.
I'm good with them slowing it down a little bit. You know, it doesn't all have to be just the same. I think that's one of my biggest problems with Newfound Glory is, you know, they do bring almost exactly the same in my head to a lot of their songs, and it gets boring to me. And when they do something just a little bit different, I think they actually do a decent job at it. So,
All right. Well, you're up next. Something I call personality. More Sticks and Stones.
track 7.
Track 8.
I didn't put the intro into my set list here. When I
You
was
got to go
writing
by
these
what it
down.
says on the Spotify or on the CD, right? I think you do.
Well, either way, it's something I call personality is the track name, right?
Indeed.
Is this the one where he talks about the bass? Or is that the one before that? Like, can't have or am I too early in the set list?
I think that's later on because I think I made a note about it somewhere and we haven't gotten there yet.
Is this the one where he talks about getting jiggy with it?
No, I think that's also later.
All right. Then I just blew all the gags and the jokes and everything that you were going to bring up, right?
Chad calls for a circle pit on this one.
Yeah, it's a fun song. It's upbeat. It's bouncy. After Sunny, it brings you back up. I think that's obviously by design. Bands love to do that. They play a ballad, they bring it back up on the next song. This does that. They have a ton of interaction here. So, do I like the song? I think it's middle of the road in terms of like, you know, the melodies and what it is. But it's always nice to rebound, you know, with a. I like the choice. We'll keep it at that. I like the choice. I think it makes sense. Do I love the song? No. So that's where I stand.
Fair enough. Yeah. So Chad calls for the circle pit. I think they do that like every single time. And this is a good song for that. It's real fast. It's real hard. It's real loud, but it's got a nice chorus. Even if it is just one line, they do this kind of like hey 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 thing where they're chanting out the crowd. I don't know that it worked that great in this crowd on that night, but I think that's okay. It's a good song. I think that it's got a good spot here in the set list, so I'm cool with it.
And what album is that off of?
That's Sticks and Stones.
Is this where they come on and they say, "Hey, we're going to play a bunch of songs from Sticks and Stones"? I thought that was somewhere in this vicinity.
I think it was a couple songs before that.
Yeah,
because they did Sunny, then they did something I'll call Personality. So yeah, I think he just said we're going to play a bunch from Sticks and Stones at some point.
Yeah, I think he say like, I hope you guys like Sticks and Stones because we're going to play a bunch of songs from there.
Something along those
Something
lines.
like that.
Yeah.
What if nobody wanted to hear that though?
Probably unlikely at a sold out Newfound Glory show.
I would have yelled in the middle of the crowd like, "No, play
Radio Surgery in its
stuff."
entirety.
Like the guy from the balcony that you hear when it's silent, you know, at a show.
Just screaming.
Mm-hmm.
I love you, Jordan.
I wouldn't do that.
No.
I'm not boy crazy.
You're not. And yeah, so it's been quite some time in this set, and this is the first thing that we have off of the self-titled record. And considering that that's my favorite album of theirs, like I feel like the album is underrepresented in this set. How the fuck is Dressed to Kill not on this set list? How the fuck is Better Off Dead not on this set list? And all right, I'll hop down off the soapbox and I'll say I'm really glad that they put this song on here. I'm pretty positive you do not like this song. It's a little silly, it's childish, whatever, but I love it. And I feel like it's very anthemic live. And now we have it on this record live now forever. The only criticism I have is the same one from Sunny. They could have added some harmonies and taken it to another level, but I love this song.
Why do you think I don't like it?
I think I remember you just like eviscerating this one.
I didn't mind the live version of it, though. No, I didn't mind the live version. I didn't mind this live version.
Okay.
I don't remember me eviscerating it. Maybe it was because just taking it at face value off of a regular studio recorded album that I thought that the lyrics were dumb. I think that might have been it, but
and there's also like this like high school cafeteria kind of banter in the album version. It's like, oh hey, can I call you? And then there's like people talking, so maybe that turned you off.
Yeah, I kind of more judge these live songs from a different lens, I guess, is what you would say. And in the flow of the show, like this one has a ton of energy. I think that in terms of, and I don't know if I'm coming at it the right way, where I'm kind of judging it in the reaction from the crowd or where it fits, or whether or not it's a good choice here. I just think that the song itself, yeah, I mean, maybe I don't care about what the message is, and I don't necessarily think, Steve, that these guys are as funny as they think they are all the time. But from a musical standpoint, I think there were some good things to talk about with certain pieces of the melody. I think the chorus was something that was fairly easy on the ears, and I didn't think that it dragged. I mean, it was fairly enjoyable. Again, just listening, from a note by note standpoint. So I'll take it for that. I'll give it, just slightly above average, and I'll have to go back and listen to what I said about the original version, because I'm not remembering that.
Okay.
Right now.
I'm not saying my memory is 100%. That's just that's what I think. That's what I think.
I'm being fairly positive about a lot of these, and I'm sure you're super surprised about that, but I don't know.
I think you got to go see New Found Glory live.
Maybe I'm just calling it like it is. No, I'm not saying I would have like an amazing time. Please don't take it that way. I think that
you might.
I feel like I would get halfway in and be like, yeah, all right, I'm done.
Just halfway through?
Yeah, but then there's nowhere I can go if I'm like in the middle of the crowd, so I'd get stuck there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to get stuck. And is it the iceberg? Am I talking about Tip of the Iceberg?
Yes, sir.
This is more, I like this song. It's a little bit more aggressive. It's got the aggressive riffs to it. It's even a little bit darker, Steve. Like, what's going on with New Found Glory here? I don't know Tip of the Iceberg. Where's this one from? Is it self-titled?
No, it's from like an EP called the Tip of the Iceberg EP that like I completely missed.
Oh.
I don't even know it.
I like the. Didn't we talk about before that this band, has done stuff with, I don't want to say hardcore because that's probably not the right terminology, but with just a harder edge to it. Like they've gone that route. Like they can do that stuff.
There's hardcore in their roots. I think Chad was in a hardcore band before New Found Glory. So while they're not necessarily playing hardcore music, but you'll hear some of that like hardcore guitar chugging here and there, and that's definitely influenced them.
Yeah, I think it's all over this track. So I thought it was, actually thought this was one of the more enjoyable ones. So I liked it.
My prediction was correct. Chad starts off, this song requires a lot of pit action. I could see that. And again, it's not a song that I'm super familiar with at all. I just kind of missed this EP. I'd have to look up when it came out. This song is not like super melodic to me, so it's not like my New Found Glory taste, but I thought that you would like it because it was more on the hardcore side of things. And there's some banter here talking about there's going to be people at home listening to this at recording while picking their butts. And Steve chimes in with some chatter. You mentioned something. This might have been the spot. I forget what it was exactly.
The getting jiggy with it.
I think so. We get a little chatter from Steve, and man, if everything that has kind of come out, like Steve got Steve got done pretty wrong. He was kicked out of this band like 2 months after this album came out. And yeah, it's a bummer. If you listen to the story about what happened, it sounds like he got the short end of the stick. But regardless, Steve is gone. Ian gets on the mic for a minute here. I think this is where he talks about, if there's no show without the bass.
There's no show without the bassist. Yeah, he's right. You can't. Well, you could.
It's the heartbeat, as Mark Hoppus says in his book. The bass is the heart. It keeps the heartbeat of the body.
You definitely want to hear that. Yeah, you definitely want to hear the bass. You definitely do, especially a good one.
I got on a tangent there about Steve Klein, but
no, you were saying something else that I wanted to. Oh yeah, so using getting jiggy with it is not funny at all. Do you think that it's relevant to use that joke even in 2013 when it's by this time like over a decade old and it's been stomped into the ground over and over again?
People who the crowd that he's talking to are pretty much people that grew up on it the same way that they did. So I mean, it doesn't really bother me. Is it a funny joke? Like, not really, but it doesn't bother me or anything like that.
I'm going to use that every time you're around now. I'm going to talk about how everybody's getting jiggy with it.
Jiggy with it? Okay.
See how that goes over.
That'll be your mission, to say getting jiggy with it like 5 times during a poker game.
I'm just going to say
nobody know.
Just a random thing. Yeah, like just like a random guy that's across from me that doesn't get any of our humor. I'm just going to use it and see what happens.
That'll be fun.
Probably think it's hilarious.
All right, we're halfway through. We got Coming Home off of the album, Chris.
You're putting me on the spot.
Coming Home.
Oh, okay.
It's titular.
Mm-hmm.
Coming Home has some interesting like lore to it. Like, some people like really fucking hate Coming Home, and some people really love it. Personally, I'm somewhere right in the middle, but I'm definitely closer to the love than hate. I don't hate this album at all. And this is a really good titular track with just a fun chorus. I'm coming home to you again. You got some whoa-ohs. Great guitar work on this one. Full-on crowd work with the whoa-oh-oh-ohs at the end. I thought this was I'm glad this is the only song off of Coming Home. I'm glad it was this one, and it sounded great.
It did. You're 100% right that both of these or this one in particular was a great version of this song. And, I actually didn't mind Jordan's delivery here. The vocal delivery, definitely a little bit more, I don't know, focused. I don't know if that's the right word, but the guitar sounded great. It was clean. It, the chorus, and it does in the regular song, it builds and it has
clapping though. There is
an emotion to it. I kind of, sometimes I can kind of put that to the side. So
I'm glad.
I guess I kind of like have a spot for this song. It's in a spot where it's like, yeah, these are the New Found Glory songs that I actually would listen to.
Yeah.
So,
well, we're getting into the tail end of the set here. I think you're up with Forget My Name. So we're back to Sticks and Stones here.
Yeah, I mean, we're going back to the album that I take it or leave it. This one's just a classic New Found Glory song. It has the the regular fast tempo, and the chorus is melodic like normally they would do. It's just not really my thing. It's very simple. They do sing it fine. Like they sing it perfectly. Like, I don't think that I noticed any mistakes in the way that they executed this one. The crowd's into it. It was maybe even a little bit faster live versus the regular recording, which, cool. But I maybe I just didn't like the song itself. The basis, it kind of took me out of it a little bit, but I think that they did as much with it as they possibly could. So not much of an opinion here other than just that overall analysis. How about you?
So normally I've seen them when they do this song, Chad will go into this story about how the record label told them they didn't want this song on the record, but they insisted. And then it became kind of like a fan favorite, probably just because of the opening, the lyrics, tell all my friends I'm dead. I'm leaving you this time. It's for good. I wish he had told that story during this show because then it would be on here for everybody to hear. But they let the crowd kick this one off, and you can hear the crowd singing very well. The song you mentioned, I mean, it is fast, but it starts slow. And I don't know, this song is awesome. I'm a big fan of this one. I liked it. Very good.
Okay, keep it going.
All right, so we're at Sincerely Me. So this is our second song from the self-titled album. Shout out to Punk Rock Mom and Punk Rock Papa. This is their song. And sorry to say, I do like this song a lot, but this is the one track where right at the beginning, Jordan sounds horrible. Like dear your name, he's either doing some sort of weird twang or he just like had a moment where he was tired or something. I don't know what it was. The rest of the song comes off just fine. There's actually like a female in the crowd who sings the "oh yeah," like he must have put the mic in the crowd, and she goes, "Oh yeah." I wonder, that could have been Punk Rock Mom because she lives in this area, so maybe that's her. Tell us if we're wrong. So I like this song, but this is not like the peak sounding of the song.
Is this the formula of Newfound Glory before they started really getting into their bigger songs with bigger choruses? Do you feel like they did more songs like this prior to like some of the albums that really hit it big?
I don't know that I understand this question.
Okay. I just feel like maybe this is an early sound for the band.
I mean,
or maybe
so
from maybe from like an earlier sound that they had,
that second record
that they brought into that second record. Like this could have been like an early way of writing music for them, if you understand that.
Now I understand, and you could be right.
Mm-hmm. And this is what Punk Rock Papa loves. Hear this one?
This is Punk Rock Mom and Punk Rock. That's like their song. I think they met when this song was on or something like that. This is their song.
Did your daughter call you dad?
I'm my daughter's young enough where it's still daddy at this moment. Yeah.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Would you rather her call you Papa?
Not really. I think I'm cool with what I got.
That's not a shot at anybody or at Punk Rock Papa specifically. I just was wondering if maybe that's what you would prefer to be called.
No, I mean, I feel like that's kind of like a family thing. It's like if you called your parents that, then maybe it makes sense for your kids to call you that. And that was never a thing. So not particularly.
My daughter calls me father.
My daughter calls, well, she says mommy, but a lot of times she does say mother.
I think it's because
I don't get the father
older.
though.
That's more of just like a thing for an older daughter to call you.
Because it's funny.
Like, come on, father. Like that sounds like that.
I like that. It's very like Mary Poppins.
Mm-hmm. Papa is more like a prince would call the king Papa. Or like.
I mean, I don't know if anybody calls him Punk Rock Papa other than Punk Rock Mom.
Oh no, it fits. It fits for him. It just wouldn't fit for me. Okay. And not everybody can do.
Well, you can't everything. Have that name. That name is taken.
I get that. I get it. It's already trademarked.
Yep.
All right. Sincere. What are we talking about? Sincerely Me.
Yes, we're still there.
Yeah. I mean, I gave my point about the songwriting. Yeah, you're right. It's a little bit more. It's raw. It's a little bit scrappier. So I don't know. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit faster. Polish isn't here. I think you said that about the way that he sings. So
it doesn't sound good.
I just wonder, like, if you hear this one live though. So, how far into the set list are we right now?
We are at the point in the
14,
concert. They are 13. About the next song is going to be the fake last song, and then they do the encore. So this is kind of like the song before the last song.
The dead spot.
Fakely, yeah.
Yeah, this is the spot that's like, well, let's give them something before we hit them with something huge.
Yes, but I think it's still.
I think it's fine. I think what they're trying to do here is just keep the energy flowing. They don't want to hit them with their best, but they want to keep people excited about what they're listening to. So I think that's the point of doing something like this, a little bit raw, maybe a little bit faster. It keeps the energy up, but doesn't hit them with something so big that it takes the oomph out of this last track or the fake last track. is what we're talking about. And we'll go into that. And I think that's me. So the fake last one is Hit or Miss. And I do know this song, Steve. I have heard this before. So
You must.
what more can we really say about this track? I mean, I think we've talked about this ad nauseum over the course of us doing this show for 6 years. I mean, if you think about Newfound Glory, this song is, what maybe you can consider a blueprint for this band. It's it's a titular track for Newfound Glory in a lot of ways. It's one of their marquee songs. I don't think that you would ever say that that's not the case. So
I would not disagree.
And the audience agrees with you. This is, they couldn't be more into this track, just like any audience would be into the final song of the set list. They're singing it, they're having a good time, ton of energy. Jordan knocks this one out of the park. So, but why wouldn't he, right? This is their track. So, again, like Hit or Miss for me isn't great. I shouldn't say that because that's not true. It's not one of my top Newfound Glory songs. Is it great? I think from a construction standpoint, from just a pure song engineering standpoint, I'm okay with the song. I think that I get why it's so popular, and I understand why people connect with this melody. But for me, like, I think there's other ones that are better, but I understand the popularity of it, and I think it's a great track to pick at this point in time in the show. You have to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you have to like make this big deal about it being the last song when everybody clearly knows that they are going to do "My Friends Over You." This is not the last song. You're not fooling anybody. But it makes sense to have it as like, this is the closer. But oh wait, no, encore. So like, I get it. Chad talks to us a little bit about playing this song, hundreds of thousands of times, and he still loves it. And listen, I've heard it hundreds of thousands of times, and I still love it. It makes me tear up a little bit listening to this now because he makes this comment about saying, I want to be 80 in a walker playing these songs. And, unfortunately, Chad does not look very great these days. His health issues, they're still ongoing. He just had tumors removed from his brain just quite recently. So it's very sad. I mean, it's positive and nice to hear him say it, but it's also sad at the same time. I think you get what I'm saying. But the song, okay, there's not that much I haven't said before. This is a quintessential top tier must have pop punk song. It sounds great in the studio. It sounds great live. It's got that hard, like, how many times I've tried breakdown. It's awesome. Like I can see Jordan. He does this thing. This won't work for the audio audience, but you on the screen can see me. He does this thing where he says, to see you, where he puts two fingers up, C point at his eyes, you at the crowd. Like I don't know that he does it that much anymore, but he used to do that every single time I saw him. I can see him doing this while I'm listening.
Like the meet the parent, like the Robert De Niro Meet the Parents thing is what you're doing.
Very similar, yes. Like I'm watching you, but it's like it's two, the number two, see you. But yes, the second and third parts are the same. I can see him doing that. And last thing they set up. They tell the crowd what to do. Jordan's going to sing the first line, you sing the second line. They set up the call and response, and I love to hear it because I feel like I'm there. And probably my favorite part of the song is at the very end of the song when Jordan goes into, it's on the record, it's a harmony. Over the chorus, he says, "I've had so many chances, turned my back and I ran away." On this recording, since nobody will harmonize with him, you just hear Jordan's vocals doing that part, which I love because on the Nothing Gold Can Stay version, that part is very low in the mix, and you have to struggle to hear it. On the self-titled version of the song, it gets a little better, but here it's just isolated with that one part that I like, even though I would have liked the harmonies back there too. But I mean, this is a great, if they were to end the show right here, that would have been perfectly fine with me.
And for the record, I think Hit or Miss is higher in the echelon versus My Friends Over You. It definitely is a better song.
I 100% agree, but we'll get to that one in short order because this was not their last song. They're going to come back out and do an encore. They after the fake end of the show, we get a one more song chant. So we had a newfound glory chant in the beginning. We get a one more song, and one guy is really loud saying 5 more songs. I've been at the show where people do that. I don't mind it. It's fine. Truth of My Youth from Catalyst. The song is super fast. I like that they put it here because they fake out off stage. They come back. They're fast. You know, these are the lies, the things you'll never mention. My past mistakes I'll stay away from. Great pre-chorus in the song into the chorus. For some reason, it's not like the most insightful lyric, but I just love when he says these are the moments that haven't yet been defined. Like, I don't know, it just stands out to me. And I thought this was a cool one, a smart one to put right here as they come back in.
What do you feel like you want to hear when bands come back after
something strong
for the encore? Like, it has to be something strong, right? It's not the strongest, but it has to be something strong.
I mean, it should have been Better Off Dead or Dress to Kill, but Truth of My Youth is just fine. But it should have been one of those other ones.
Is this one Catalyst era? Is that when this came out?
Catalyst, yes.
Catalyst. So it's mid 2000s, a little bit heavier. Okay. Yeah, I'm about this track. I think that they picked one that I probably would have been okay with in this at this concert. Yeah, I mean it's a little bit more of a mature version of the band. It's catchy. I don't know. I don't know if there's more to say about it. I just, when you get a song that's a little bit more aggressive, a Newfound Glory, I generally am on the side of things that I like the choice. So I think it was the right choice to come back with this.
All right. And then we get into the story so far.
Not the band.
Not the band. The song that inspired the band's name.
Oh, what was this off of, Steve? Because I can't remember.
Sticks and Stones.
Man, doesn't that go to show like how much I do not pay attention to that album whatsoever?
I guess.
I don't think I even tried. I think that when I went back and I dedicated myself to trying to like this band more, I got into listening to Nothing Gold Can Stay and Self-Titled, and that's as far as I got. So sorry. I don't know. It's fan service. I think, like you said, people love Sticks and Stones stuff, so anything would work here. It's a great like bridge song between the song they opened with and maybe what you would call the real closer. So I'm okay with that. It brings a lot of, it's the same thing. It's the same thing I said before. Energy, speed, catchy enough melody, keeps the momentum going, and people know it and they love this album. So I can't fault them, but it's not my favorite choice.
Yeah, I think this is another great song. This is the second, like, I'm going to just call it a kind of slower one, if you can call it that, like almost like similar to Sunny. Like, it's not all slow. It's definitely fast at parts. There's a huge section where, they have the crowd. The sky will never look the same again until you show me. Like, the crowd just blasts that. I thought that the guitars sounded really good on this song. They just get the full crowd singing here. So, again, I don't know that I would have picked this one to be the second to last song, but it's perfectly fine. And if I was at this show, I wouldn't be like disappointed or anything like that.
Sounds like you would have been.
Well, we all have our preferences. It's just what is not here. You compare what is not there to what is there. And I would have a different preference, but I would be satisfied in singing along if I was there.
Would you be satisfied with this final track, this final song, final track?
So, peace and love to everybody out there, but I would listen to like half the song and then try and beat the crowd to get out of there because,
beat the crowd.
This is the closer. It makes sense. Like, there's not going to be a Newfound Glory show that doesn't end with My Friends Over You. But for me, like, this is the one that's like, is Ocean Avenue your favorite Yellow Card song? Because it's not mine. Is All the Small Things your favorite Blink song? Because it's not mine. These are good songs. They are very good songs. But My Friends Over You is not my favorite Newfound Glory song. I like it, but it's just the big single. It's not my personal favorite. There's no denying, though. It's a great song. The crowd loves it. They go wild. And then that's the end of the show. Thank you. Good night. So this is exactly what I would expect for the end of this record.
Do you think Yellow Card would ever end a show with Rough Landing, Holly? If I went up to Ryan Key, I'm like, hey, can you just end the show with that real quick tonight? That'd be great.
He'd be like,
please.
Do I know you? Do I know you?
Yeah, we met. Remember?
We talked once for 2 hours.
We played cards one time. We didn't,
That would
but
be fun.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's a you said quintessential. Like, isn't this a quintessential song too for of them? Like this is part of
Yes.
their identity.
Yes.
So I mean, there you go. I don't everything you said about whether or not you had a good comparison to Ocean Avenue, and it's the biggest song. It's the one that the general populace probably wants as the last song because most people can sing it. They've heard it a billion times. People that are on the fringe of pop punk in the 2010s and the 2020s or the aughts, this is the song that probably that they heard and said, I love pop punk, because this is what they heard. And this is probably all the farthest that they did hear things is this song, and maybe a couple others, maybe Fat Lip. I don't know. Like they just got a couple of them, and this is one of them. That's fine too. Like there's nothing wrong with that, because this is one that permeated pop music and got into the ears of people that normally wouldn't care about punk music or pop punk music. But
I don't think this did that well.
yeah, but it was out there. When
I
you
just think
say
of,
that, like, what are you basing that on? Just numbers, or like
I think the
don't think
general
that's
population would know multiple Green Day songs, multiple Blink-182 songs, maybe Good Charlotte's the anthem, maybe Fat Lip. I don't think
I
this
don't
one
know.
got the radio play.
I disagree.
those
I
did.
well, here's why I disagree with you, and I disagree because I think that people heard this. I don't know if the general populace maybe knows Newfound Glory. I think that they've just heard the song, like it was on a lot. So
I just think if you are a person that says I like pop punk music, you know this song. But like the average person, maybe not. Probably not. More likely that they know all the small things.
no, I stand behind my argument. I think that there's people that say they like, oh yeah, can you remember back in the day those those people that do that, like, oh, I remember that song back in the day it was pop punk. I love pop punk. Like my friends over you, like they would
Sugar,
say
we're
that,
going down.
and then you would say like, oh yeah, who sang that? And they'd be like, I don't know, Green Day. Like they wouldn't know, but they would remember that. And so that's kind of where I'm going. This would get a pop out of people that wouldn't necessarily care. I don't care. Like it's fine. Like they ended with this. Do I think there's better songs to end this album with? Yes. Would I be more pumped about other songs versus this one? Yes. But that's not their choice, and it makes sense probably in terms of a lot of different reasons from a business standpoint, and also just people that like. Hey, let me give you an example. I went to go see Weezer many times, and if the Sweater Song was the last song, even though it's not my favorite, like I would sit there and listen to it because I'd love to hear it live. So, and that's the other thing that I'll kind of end my opinion on is, for those people that really love Newfound Glory and are at the show, there is always that potential for you to hear this song in a different way. You don't know that they're going to sing it straight up. So they did, but you don't know that. So it's cool to maybe think about hearing maybe a different melody or harmony or something, but they didn't do that.
There's no harmonies.
So you're disappointed.
I hate to break it to you. There's no fucking harmonies anywhere. But all right, show's over, folks. Go home, get your jackets, close your tabs. Don't forget to take care of the wait staff, and get out of the parking lot. But the album is not over. I will be a little quick on these. There's 3 brand new studio tracks that are at the end of this album, and I kind of feel bad for studio tracks that get stuck at the end of a live album. Like if you think about Blink, like Man Overboard, like if that was on Take Off Your Pants and Jacket instead of the live album, like it might, I mean, they still love that song and they play it a lot, but it might have gotten a little bit more eyes on it. So we got 3 songs here at the end. I played poker with Chris this weekend until 2 or 3 in the morning, so I'm tired. I didn't get too much in detail about these 3 songs, but we'll start with, you can kick it off. I Want to Believe is the first one.
You're going to put it back in my...
You want me to go first?
I just don't feel like I have a ton to say, plus I'm coughing, so maybe help me.
I thought this was a pretty decent, kind of average Newfound Glory song. Put Your Money Where Your Mouth is not a very original lyric. So and that's the focus of the song. And they're talking about businessmen and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. This could have fit on like whatever previous album as just like an album track that nobody really like loved. It's just a mid-tier type song. There's nothing special about it.
The only thing I'll say is that I think, the overall feeling of it was that it was anthemic. I, 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 I do think that this potentially could have been a single at some point in time. Like, I feel like this wouldn't have been like a slam dunk single, but it had enough where it could have been a single out there. Just not for me. I'm with you.
Okay.
Just trying to find
I thought you were arguing with me.
No, I'm trying to find something positive to say about it. So I think that maybe it was just in the wrong era. I don't know, but I just didn't. Yeah.
Now, this next song, Connect the Dots, so they released this as a single around the time that this album came out. So I remember like somehow getting this song and listening to this song multiple times and really digging it. And actually, since it's at the end of this live album, I feel like it's completely disappeared ever since. I have not thought about or listened to this song Connect the Dots, but when I saw it, for this exercise, I saw it on here. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I definitely know that song. And it was released as a single. It's got a cool guitar riff. It's got a sweet chorus. Like I thought this song was a good song, a very good song.
Where was it released as a single?
They I don't know, fucking iTunes or whatever. Like however you released a single in 2013, it was released as a single. I mean, it wasn't on the radio or anything, or at least not any radio I heard.
I have no history with this one. But I thought that the melody was... I thought it was fine. I thought that it was definitely a melody that I could get into a little bit more than the previous song. I think this, once again, like I said in the last one, I could see this as, and it was. And so what am I talking about as a single? That's before I knew it was. It's in my notes. I didn't take the time to really look and see if it was or not, but I did write that this could be a single. So 2 in a row. I think the second one's a little bit stronger than the first, but the songwriting's fairly on point with that one. So I'm cool with it.
All right. And then it ends with First Bite. I didn't give this one too many listens. I feel like it had a really good, like a feel good type of vibe to it. It was very light. It was very fun. But nothing that, is going to like stick with me. And I'm not in 2026. I'm not going to be like, oh, they need to play First Bite at the show this week.
It's throwaway to me. I'm just, by this point in time, I shouldn't say that, because I don't want to make it seem like, well, Chris always gets tired at the end of an album and just throws away the last song. It's not true. I didn't particularly care for this one. I thought
wasn't feeling it.
I just thought it was blah, kind of mid.
Okay. Well, we are through Newfound Glory, Kill It Live, and they do kill it live. I mean, we definitely had a couple of criticisms here and there, but overall, I think that they're super fun live, and I'm gonna go see them. They're opening for Yellow Card in about a month. I'm very excited about that show, and I have seen these guys live like so many times. And if they're coming to my area, like there's a good chance I'm gonna go. Why not?
You should.
They're great,
and you should. I don't want it to come off where I take away from their ability to put on a live show just based on my distaste for the band, because I don't have very much nostalgia with the band. I don't really love a lot of their music, but I cannot take away from them that they can put on a good show. They get the crowd involved. They put a lot of energy into their output, and ultimately, again, I think that a lot of the songs end up sounding maybe just a little bit better when they're live, with just that a little bit faster pace, the harder edge of the loud guitars, like they crank that up. It actually helps. So I'm behind the fact that the band is talented enough where they're able to do that, and I give them credit for that specifically. But when the underlying factor is, I just don't really love their music, it's hard for me to get into it. So that said, Steve, I think we would do ourselves a disservice if we did not do our normal ranking it, and we definitely don't like to slow the show down. So let's speed it back up, and let's give these guys our top 3 in order: 3, 2, 1, from the album Kill It Live, which is a live album, Steve, by the band Newfound Glory.
Yes, and I'm taking away the three original songs. We're talking about live music, so we talked about those songs briefly, but I'm taking those out. I'm not even including them in my ranking it, but I am
You
since we have
could,
17 tracks.
you could if you
I
wanted
could. This
to.
is how I'm approaching this exercise. I am going to throw an honorable mention in here because there were 17 tracks. There were so many. Honorable mention goes to Coming Home. Number 3 goes to my self-titled song Boy Crazy. Number 2, Hardness of All Downhill from Here live. And number 1 is Hit or Miss. Easy. Easy.
You kind of took one of mine. Hey, you do you break the rules like all the time? Is that just your thing?
If I feel the need, if I feel
When someone tells you not to do something,
if
hey,
I feel it in my loins,
don't cross
you
the
didn't
street.
say it this time.
Don't
Most of the
cross
times
street,
you say
Steve.
it.
When the hey, don't go through that red light. You be like, I'm just gonna go through the red light just this one time.
Listen, it was yellow. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, you did it. There's nothing I can do. I couldn't take it back. Can't take it back. But I want you to think about it next time. Think long and hard about what you did. Just like I thought about the top 3 that I chose here, as long as I could have. I don't know, guys. I think I got to give number 3 to Boy Crazy.
Wow.
I don't know, something about that one just piqued my interest. Number 1 is definitely. Yeah.
Are you awake? Are you here?
I'm thinking about 4 things at the same time. So
3 is Boy Crazy. Now you're on 2.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I might as well just go with it. Number 1 is Hit or Miss. And finally, number 2 is what did I have? Now I'm all out of sorts here. What did I pick as my number 2? Oh my God. Oh yeah, it was Sunny. Yeah, it was Sunny.
Chris, do you like to break the rules? Do you always break the rules?
It's my segment. I mean, I kind of can make the rules as I go.
But you broke your own rules.
You
said audibly 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, but I did give you 3, 2, 1. It's just in a different order.
3, 1, 2 is what you did.
You act like I'm one of those guests that come on our, like we've had guests that just start with 1.
That happens all the time. People don't realize, but it's okay.
I tell them start with 3, but they start with 1, and I let it go because we're nice. But
we are super nice.
I just found
Glory's nice. We're all nice.
People like to hear just like a live show. Steve, that goes along with our theme for the month is when you go to a live show, you never know what you're going to get with a song that you may have heard before. And on High School Never Ends, the show, you never know what you're going to get during live music month.
I like how you call it High School Never Ends, the show. That reminds me of like Spaceballs, the movie, Spaceballs, the cereal, Spaceballs, the coloring book.
From a segment that you've heard.
Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
Millions of times. People have heard Rankin it millions of times, and we had to throw them a little bit of a loop, throw a loop-de-loop.
And may the Schwartz be with you.
What are you doing? Why are you doing that?
I don't know. We watched Mel Brooks movies this weekend. And today's May the 4th that we're recording this, so it fits. It fits. It really fits.
Are we supposed to give away the date where we record things?
Cut that.
All right, okay. Steve, take us home.
This is it, guys. You take us home.
Well, I do want to know. I know we want to end it and you're tired, but we need to know one more thing. Your opinion on the overall set list, like, yes. Is this something that you have some major criticisms on or minor criticisms and you were generally okay with it? What was it? Talk about it.
Minor criticisms, and I'm mostly okay with it. I personally would have liked more self-titled songs on here. There were only 3. If you consider Hit or Miss a self-titled song, if you consider that a Nothing Gold Can Stay song, then there's only 2. I would have liked a couple more, I think. But other than that, I'm cool. And that's just my personal preference. If I'm this band's manager and they were like, this is what we're going to do, I'd probably be like, all right, yeah, that's cool. That makes sense. They did a bunch of Sticks and Stones, the most popular. They mixed in Catalyst, self-titled, and then they threw in a couple of, one-hit wonders from a few of their other albums. It was okay. It was good.
Wait, they didn't do the one song that I really like. You know that?
Which song was that?
What song do I really like? What is that one?
Dude, I don't know.
You gotta know.
Could it have been from an album that wasn't out yet at this time?
Oh no, it's Eyesore.
Oh,
They didn't do
Eyesore.
Eyesore. That's my favorite New Found Glory song. They didn't do it.
No, they didn't do that one.
Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't that be the last song?
I don't think that's really like a setlist staple for them. I mean, I wouldn't say it's never played, but it's not a staple.
I feel like they should have. I mean, they did. Look at all the songs they did off of this album. They did Boy Crazy and
There's only
Black
3.
and Blue.
No.
Second to last.
No.
Hit or miss.
And that's from another album. And Sincerely Me. That's it. Boy Crazy, Sincerely Me, and If You Consider Hit or Miss. That's it.
So literally like half the album without Eyesore they did.
That's not half. It's only 2, maybe
Close.
3 songs. But
Pretty
you know,
close.
No Better Off Dead, No Dress to Kill. Those songs, in my mind, need to be there.
So if you, what I would have had them do is just do all of Radio Surgery and then Eyesore to finish it up
Twice.
Just all 3 versions of Eyesore at the end,
like Suburban Rhythm style. Oh, okay. I shouldn't give anything away.
Well, no, you do an acoustic Eyesore, and then you do like a reggae Eyesore, and then you do the regular one.
A hardcore Eyesore, a country Eyesore. I like it.
No country, please. So that's it, Steve. We did it. We got through our first album of what I think is going to be a really cool month of talking about live music. And I think we did it justice, even though, again, not my favorite band, not all my favorite songs. I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy this experience. And what it's going to make me do is go back and maybe listen to some of these songs again to see if I was incorrect, which I don't think I am, but I will do it anyway.
Cool. I like that. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Report back. Circle
Absolutely.
back.
And hopefully you guys have an opinion too. I'm not going to say you liked it or didn't. Maybe you're with me and you're not a New Found Glory fan, but you enjoyed this. Maybe you're against me and you're just one of the super New Found Glory fans and you loved this, or you didn't like it for reasons. Either way, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, and we want to hear it from you. And hey, there's several different ways you can do that. Definitely don't forget to join our Discord. That's one of the best ways to get into conversations about what you hear on the show. Give us your opinions, but not just us, but the community of people that listen to High School Never Ends. We got a lot of cool people on there to talk about everything from music to movies to pop culture, but mostly music and pop punk music, the music we love. So check it out. It's our Discord channel. But also, maybe you just want to give, a shout out to the show. Maybe you just want to give us a rating. Either way, you got Spotify, you got Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. It helps the show. And if you want to write a little bit of something up to tell us how you thought about, what you're hearing, the content that we produce, you can do that too via Apple Podcasts. We would love to read it. Guys, don't forget about our shop, and also links to all of our socials and our shop can be found at our hub. That's www.hsnepod.com.
Yep. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HSNEPod, like High School Never Ends Pod. And if you want to support the show and get bonus content from Chris and I every single month, you can subscribe to our Patreon channel, which is at patreon.com/HSNEPod. High School Never Ends Kills It Live. We'll continue with another live album next week. Until then, keep on rocking your dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast the pop punk.
Dragon Wagon.